What's up, guys? So I've been wearing this pair of Knicks now for about a month or so. So I figured I'd make a video showing you the wear on it and kind of giving my thoughts about it and stuff. So this is a Wicked and Craig leather MTO that I did. It's chestnut oil latigo. Um, it's on the H&W last. It's got a soft toe. It's the 8-inch height. Got a pull loop. I got it with a standard top. It's got brass eyes and hooks, natural edge finish, and then the 430 Vibram mini lug sole. The leather itself, it's a veg tan leather made by Wicked and Craig. The color is called chestnut. It's like a if like I think one of the most coolest things about this specific color and this leather is I honestly couldn't tell you if it's only one color. It's a burgundy sometimes, and sometimes it's brown. I probably really couldn't say for sure like if it's one or the other. It's kind of both, depending on the lighting and the angle that you look at it, which makes it kind of cool. It's got a it's got a pretty decent amount of pull up to it. See it lighten it up and give it like a more of a crimson look to it, like the pull up. Yeah, it's really nice. It's got a really smooth. It feels really smooth. Um, it's got kind of a like a little more of a dry, hard feel to the leather, and you can see like the grain break on it is pretty tight. Kind of like it lends itself to like a more of a formal look almost to the leather itself, just with how smooth it is and how tight the grain break is. Kind of letting it be easier to dress up. Um, when I first got these, this was my first oiled Latigo leather that I've had before, and I think hands down it's like the stiffest, boardiest boot leather I've had experience with so far. Um, like when I first got it, I was like just like man, I'm gonna have a horrible time breaking these in just with how stiff the leather felt, and like with the first time I tried to lace them up, like the kiltie itself, it was like so stiff and boardy, it was like a pain to get it to sit under the facings. When I was lacing it up, it would just pop out. So yeah, I was really thinking it was going to be a bad break in, but it wasn't at all. The leather doesn't stretch much, if at all. Like it'll form to your feet and stuff like that, but it'll crease where it needs to. But yeah, if you're looking for the leather to stretch, I really don't think this stretches much. Like if it does, it's not noticeable. Um, so just using these, I pretty much did everything I do regularly do in my normal life. Like I wore them to work. Uh, I wore them just doing random stuff around town, like running errands and all that stuff. Uh, I would wear them to go out to nice dinners with my family and stuff like that, and they work great. I even did some, with some like light hiking in it. Uh, you know, the mini lug sole probably isn't like the optimal hiking sole, but it's it's definitely doable. And I went up some pretty steep inclines, like like loose scree or just soft dirt, and boulders with pine needles covering covering the tops of them, and I didn't have any problems doing it. Worked pretty fine. And really, it's just a really great versatile boot. Um, there's there's this concept that I got from like the wristwatch world. There's this acronym. It's GATA. It's go anywhere, do anything. GADA. And it's kind of like this concept where, well, at least for watches, like if you could only own one watch, you would want it to be able to work in you know most to all of the situations that you'd have in your daily life, right? And I really think in this configuration with this leather, I think this for me, I really think this is like probably close to like my perfect GATA boot. Um, the leather itself, it's not struck through, so if you were gonna work in it, you know it it probably doesn't take a scratch as well as maybe like the Max Porter 1964 stuff that is, or any other leather that really that's struck through. So it's gonna show abrasions and gouges and stuff like that more, but you know I think that's more of a personal taste thing. Like I don't mind it looking like that. It's fine with me. And just in this configuration, with the soft toe, kind of gives it a little more of a slimmer profile up front, and just the color of the leather, and almost and just the look of the leather with how smooth it is, and like the tight grain break of it. It really lends itself to being able to be dressed up. So it makes it a really versatile boot. Like I said, I did some hiking in it. I worked in it, and then I would hit them with a brush to knock all the dust off, and throw on a pair of chinos and an Oxford cloth shirt and go out to a nice dinner with my family. It worked great for that. So this configuration with the 8-inch height and the mini lug sole, it really lends itself to being a GATA boot, where I literally did everything I do in my normal life. Whenever I went places that I would usually go to my everyday life, and I think that's kind of the GATA concept is kind of a cool one to apply to a boot, really, just because you know not everyone can go out there and just drop 700 bucks on multiple pairs of boots, or right, or like spend thousands of dollars on being a boot hoarder or whatever. And so I really think that the GATA concept kind of really fits the whole boot thing pretty well. Like me, like if you're someone that wants just one pair of boot, right? Like you don't want a whole room, you know, dedicated to holding all your boots, full on boot hoarder status. And you just wanted a one pair of boots that you can just, you know, go anywhere and do anything in, really. GATA. I really think this configuration, at least for me, is probably pretty close to what I would say is is if I was only going to have one boot, it would look like this, really. The 8-inch height, it works great for hiking in. I think I really like the support that it gives it when you're walking all over a bunch of rocks and stuff on the side of a hill. it kind of gives you that feeling of support, like you aren't just gonna just roll your ankle. Uh, and you still could roll your ankle in it, but there were times where it really felt like it was gonna help to stop that if it did happen. And hiking in the mini lug, probably not the most ideal thing, but there's this boot. It does pretty much everything decently, but it's not going to do one thing great. Like going hiking, it would probably be more optimal to have like a full V100 lug sole. But then, maybe it wouldn't work as well, going out to a nice dinner, like trying to dress it up, and I really think that that's what's something cool about the whole GATA concept is everyone's GATA boot would probably look different depending on your lifestyle, right? Maybe a V100 lug sole would be perfect for you, but just for me, it's kind of a pain to wear casually, just because I'd get invited over to a buddy's house and then walk into his house and with your V100 lug soles and that have pieces of gravel stuck in them, and you jack up your buddy's wooden floors. They usually don't get happy when you do that. But yeah, it can be kind of a pain just because the lugs on like a V100 you'll get pretty much everything stuck in those lugs: gravel, twigs, small children, or whatever. So, but for my lifestyle, yeah, this is probably pretty close to like the perfect one boot. Like if I was only gonna own one boot, it would probably look look something really close to this. But yeah, so that's the boots after 1 month of wear. They've held up decently well to like the stuff I've been doing with them. You can see how like the kilty, I would get a bunch, like going hiking, I would get a bunch of dirt and grit under there, and the kilty just kind of rubs it in, like makes it wear like that. The leather, you can see how it takes some like dents in there, how it takes like a scratch, or you know I think I did this at work. I think I ran my foot against a metal pallet and it kind of scratched it up there. Just from hiking, your foot gets rammed into like boulders and stuff. But yeah, they've held up great. I'm really enjoying them. Uh, I'm really interested to seeing if after I actually oil them and with a lot more wear, if the leather will soften up at all. I don't have I don't have high hopes that it will. I think it's pretty much gonna stay really stiff like this. But I mean, it's fine. And like when you wear them, uh, you're as you wear them and the leather itself heats up, it gets a lot more pliable. Like the first day that I wore them, I when I was taking them off, I was just like, wow, that leather softened up a lot. But the next morning when I went to go put them on, and they were stiff as they were the day I got them. So yeah, it does that. Like it softens up with your body heat, and then when you take them off for the night or whatever, and it they stiffen right back up when they cool down. But yeah, it's still a great leather. I really like it. I love this configuration of boot. You're probably going to end up seeing a lot more nicks that look very similar to this, and probably even some Franks that look similar to this. But yeah, those are the boots so far. Really enjoying them. I'll post more wear updates as I wear these more. And yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time.